They said my favorite album to mix. I mean, if I would say the real ones that are my favorites, you motherfuckers think I'm biased. But I would say like Pimp A Butterfly was probably like my favorite album to mix. The most complex. The most, yeah, that motherfucker was a bitch.
In today's video, I'm going to be doing a never-before-seen look at the recording and mixing process behind Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp A Butterfly. I'll be doing a deep dive into Kendrick Lamar's vocal chain on the album, as well as how other instruments were recorded. I'll then take an in-depth look at the mixing process, showing you various tips and techniques that mixedbyali used to craft the sonic signature of this album.
Last year at NAMM, I ran this guy down and I said, yo, we have a jazz record. Can you please help me make this record?
I don't know shit about
I don't know
jazz.
what the fuck I'm doing. Can you what?
For mixedbyali, this album presented a unique challenge as he was tasked with recording multiple live instruments.
Cause I never mixed like standard, like upright basses. I never mixed like live
instrumentation.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was still all wet behind the ears, you know, with those sounds at that point. So I'm like, yo, like I'm hitting everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm hitting Neil Pogue, is the amazing mixing engineer. I hit the homie Fabian. I'm just hitting hella engineers, just trying to like just get inspiration, trying to find like ways to take something from like an old school jazz record and make it new.
In addition to consulting other engineers, Ali also listened to various albums and different genres of music to expand his tastes and bring it to the record.
See, bitch, I'm in the club with the homies. When I was doing To Pimp A Butterfly, the albums that I would vibe to a lot were the Mo Better Blues soundtrack, was Abbey Road by the Beatles, and was hella Parliament's Funkadelics. I would listen to albums that I had a lot of instrumentation, a lot of layers, a lot of textures, and dope ass vocals, you know? And I try to find a way where I could take everything from all of those different eras of music and different genres of music and try to fuse it together with some new shit that we were doing with Pimp A Butterfly.
While others might have seen this lack of knowledge as a setback, Ali used it to his advantage to craft some unique sounds for these live instruments.
Because I didn't know how to specifically blend an upright bass with a live program bass, you know, it again added to the creation of my sound, which is making sure it feels right rather than the ones and zeros lining up.
Pimp A Butterfly was recorded at Dr. Dre's No Excuses studio, which at the time was Studio A of Interscope Studios. Here's a picture of their control room where most of the mixing was done, and here's a picture of the live room where most of the recording was done. Here's Kendrick in that same live room recording vocals. The mic mostly used throughout the album was a modified Telefunken U47, which went into a Neve 1073 and then into the TubeTech CL1B. However, vocals weren't the only thing Ali had to record. Live instrumentation like horns were a huge part of the album. Here you can see collaborators like Terrence Martin and Kamasi Washington recording. To record them, Ali mostly used ribbon mics like the Royal 121 and the RCA 44. The whole jazz band was recorded together in the Studio A live room. The jazz drums were recorded with 3 mics, 2 overheads and 1 mic in the front of the kit. The piano had modified AKG 414s, and the upright bass was mic'd with a U48. Ali also used an extremely rare C24 microphone to capture both the sax and drums as a room mic. Here's a picture of the string recording session for the album, and here's some sheet music from the session. Now let's take a look at the mixing process behind the album.
You're not still doing that mono shit, are you?
I definitely am.
Monitoring plays a critical role in Ali's mixing workflow. What Ali does differently is he monitors on a mono Oritone speaker, which is how a majority of To Pimp A Butterfly was mixed.
And the reason why I mix in mono, I say all the time, mixing in mono is mixing with 1 speaker up front. Is because, you know, Kendrick helped me with this also, but because like I use a lot of effects and reverbs and stereo imaging where, you know, sounds are coming from left and right of the speaker. When I'm mixing mono on 1 speaker, I'm able to gauge things up and down instead of left and right.
So I'm mixing the mono and I'm trying to throw a reverb or a cool delay on it. I still want to hear that delay and reverb, but it shouldn't overpower the mix while you're in mono. Once you put it back in the stereo, that's when everything opens up.
Once he was done mixing in mono, he then moved to other speakers in the control room.
After I feel like the mix is solid, then I'll go up to, I won't even touch the NS10s until I'm close to like finishing my mix.
Oh, really?
And even when I go to NS10s in mono, I really go back and play back in stereo once I'm pretty complete with the mix.
Just the previous records he had done at No Excuses, Ali took a hybrid approach to mixing.
Best of both worlds. Like I do all my mixes, pre-mixes in the box, but I would completely like just go all out on the in the box mix. And I take that and I throw it on like a G series and polish it up.
The particular SSL G series that Ali was referring to is this one here in Studio A. At the time, it was Dr. Dre's SSL and used to mix many hits in the 90s. The entire To Pimp A Butterfly album was mixed using this board. Here's why Ali loved it so much.
Okay.
The G4000 is the G Plus actually. 4000 is my baby, yeah. And the reason why, because Dre always taught me this thing coming up. There's this thing when you clip that board with your drums, it gives it like a good peak. It gives it like a top end shine that you know you can't learn from anywhere else.
Yeah. Also, turning the line trim to get the bass to sit in the mix.
Yeah,
all the tricks.
I gotta sit with Dave and get the rest of the tricks.
Man.
But the SSL G Bus compressor, I use that mainly on all my mixes. Kind of keeps things nice and tight. It glues up the whole mix together for me.
In fact, Ali loved this board so much that he bought it and installed it in his new no-name recording studios.
The board that I mixed the album with, I bought it. So this is the board from Interscope that, I had through my career, I had the opportunity to buy. And now it's inside my facility, which is No Name Recordings, which used to be the old Death Row studio.
To further understand Ali's mix process for the album, let's take a look inside the session for these walls. As mentioned earlier, Ali starts his sessions mixing in the box. While mixing in the box for this album, he took the approach of using more subtractive processing in the box and then adding it back later with analog gear. Take a look at how he describes his process when mixing drums.
Run the SSL board EQ on all my mixes. I like to kind of do a negative of what I was doing on the board. So if I take out a lot of highs in the box, I would add more on the board because it gives it that much more warmth.
Okay, so a two-step process. This is the bass drum, that live bass drum kick drum one without the SSL processing. Okay, so what you're doing here is you're actually high passing and low passing, making it super medium EQ.
Besides making heavy use of the SSL board EQ on drums, he also used various pieces of outboard gear like the API 550A to add some top end to things like snares, a Neve 2245 for some parallel compression, and a Pultec EQ on the bass. In the box, mixedbyali also used the Waves Doubler and S1 Imager on the bass. The vocals were the most heavily processed thing, consisting of a lot of in-the-box processing. Ali made use of the SSL channel, the R comp, de-esser, and would use things like Waves Metaflanger, Air Chorus, and S1 Imager to add some stereo width to the vocal. In some cases, he'd replace these effects with the H3000. After the in-box processing, Kendrick's vocal went into the desk where there was some EQ done, and into a Fairchild 670. Ali also made use of outboard reverb on the vocals, like an AMS RMX 16 and an EMT 250. On his master, Ali used the GML 8200 just for some fine-tuning and the SSL G-Bus compressor. He mixed the album to tape using an Ampex APR 102 tape machine and used Lavery Gold as the converter. After that, the tape was sent off to mastering, which was done by Mike Bozzi. I hope you all enjoyed this look at the mixing and recording process for To Pimp A Butterfly. An album like this is revolutionary and takes a long time to craft. If you did like the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this, and let me know down below what other videos y'all want to see.